Welcome back to our study in the book of Colossians. We have spent several sessions preparing to get to these few verses where Paul teaches the people at Colossae who Jesus is. And in our last session, we saw how everything was created by him and for him. And that sets the stage for where we're going to go here in verse 17. He says, He, Jesus, is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Jesus is number one. He's the first, he's the center, he's the focus, he's everything. When we look at the books of the Bible, they all point to one thing, really one person, Jesus Christ. It's interesting because sometimes you'll even ask Christians, what's the Bible about? It's about the Jews. It's about God. It's about salvation. And that isn't all wrong, but the real answer is Jesus. Jesus Christ is the central focus of the Bible. And therefore, when we understand that it is through him that all things are held together, that's a theological statement, very clearly, that tells us that if we don't have Jesus in the center, if he's not the focus, if he's not first in line, if he's not preeminent, we don't have anything. We don't have anything at all. The old song, the old gospel song says, without him, I would be nothing. That's pretty true. Comes right out of this particular text in a very unique way. Well, he goes on to say that he also is the head of the body, the church, and he is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that he himself will come to have first place in everything. What's he saying there? Well, very simply, Jesus is the brains. He's the spirit. He's the life. He's the total ingenuity of the body of Christ. He is the leader. You know, if you decapitate somebody, their head's gone, they don't live. They can't live because everything focuses out of the central nervous system, the brain in the human body. Likewise, the body of Christ, the church, is controlled completely and is completely submitted to and is alive only because of Jesus Christ. And so therefore he is the head. And he becomes the focus of everything. He's the beginning. That's a preeminent position. The first. Okay? He's the firstborn of the dead. He's the first one to be raised from the dead and live eternally. There were some people that Jesus raised from the dead and they died mortally again. Jesus was raised mortally from the dead, and he lives eternally, as will we also when we are raised into new life. We see that depicted very clearly to us in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Well, he comes to have first place in everything one way. That's if we know who he is, and we give him that place in our lives. He is the center. He is the focus. He is the center of our church. He is the focus of our church. It isn't about social justice. It's not about outreach. It's not about community. It's about Jesus. And so many churches have kind of not thrown that out, but kind of pushed that to the back burner to make themselves more appealing. And they do that through whatever ministries they can conjure up. And really, it's all about Jesus. If we preach Jesus, we teach Jesus, we know who Jesus is, and he lives in our lives centrally and is the focus of what we do, then he does become first place in everything. And that is a great, great place to be. Not only as an individual Christian, but as a congregation and as the church, the body of Christ, of which he is the head. We'll pick up there on our next session.